like we always do about this time.
My name is Nick Novotny. I am the Fest Director of the Rochester Thaw, and I'm a co-owner at My Town, My Music here in Rochester. Playing bands, I help organize shows through My Town in the Fest, and I make beer for a living as a day job at Little Thistle. Back in college, I worked for Midwest Music Fest. I've worked as a sound tech at festivals. I played a lot of festivals. I knew the festival world from a playing side, from a promoting side, from like a working it side. When the Castle opened, that was the kind of spark to get something going. And that's where the first year kind of came from. And it was me and a very small crew of people that were kind of putting that first one on. 7 bands, 1 stage, 1 day. Kind of took a hiatus for a few years during the pandemic. And in that time, I had joined up as one of the owners of My Town, My Music. And that's where the idea came back. Okay, how do we bring back Thaw? Are we at a place with the pandemic and COVID where we can put in what has ended up being like 6+ months of work into 1 single day? And where the music scene at in Rochester and Southeast Minnesota has been in the last few years, even through the pandemic, has been super resilient, and people have been attending shows more. There's more bands that exist that are proud to call Rochester home and are excited to play in town and around. We had over 120 bands apply for 30 slots.
So I played for my band, Loudmouth Brass, and so what we did is we actually made a joint application with our friend Jay Havoc, who is a rapper. People who maybe are into brass bands don't always see rappers. People are into rappers, maybe don't always see brass bands, and just bringing together the hip hop and the brass band. And Thaw gave us the opportunity to do that.
You wanna ride or walk? You decide. Hey, that's productivity.
I'm John Sievers. I'm a trombonist in Rochester and a music lover. And I play in a couple of bands in town, Loudmouth Brass and Amateur, and just am a big proponent of live music in Rochester. I'm a firm believer that like music brings people together in ways that they may not come together otherwise.
And by bringing in an event like this, where we have 1/3 of our lineup is based here in Rochester. Everyone else is intentionally not from here. And the goal is to have not only out-of-town bands come in and see what is actually happening here in Rochester in the music scene, because there's a lot of places that'll overlook it. So much energy, and there's so much just raw excitement for music in this town right now, and having out-of-town bands come in and see that not only is great for Rochester, but they'll also see what the town itself has to offer. The beautiful part of this event is you'll get people from town that'll get woken up to what is actually happening here if they are not aware of what is already going on in their own city. But then we're bringing in people from out of town to kind of show off the best of what Rochester has with an event like this, and that's the really exciting part. You're going to get out there and you're going to see Rochester today. You're going to walk around the downtown. You're going to go nab a drink at some bar in the middle of a set. It's like the whole thing, it just kind of forces your hand to explore the city and explore the downtown. just continuing to push to make Rochester as vibrant of a city, especially in the downtown corridor, as possible. And so you look at the venues we're holding all the shows in, we have a restaurant, we have an art studio, we have a wedding venue, we have a record store, we have a coffee shop, and then we have this building that we're in right now, which is a huge multi-purpose venue space. We got some incredible support from a lot of small businesses through sponsorship of the festival, and we'll take what lessons we can from this year and push those into the future to just keep building this festival and make it better and better every time we do it. We have an amazing production team and volunteers that are helping us make sure this whole event runs really smooth. So we're trying to make sure we have every one of our bases covered, but we couldn't do something of this scale without all of that support from all of those players in this, because we can organize the show as best we can, but if we don't have people that want to attend, venues that want to help host, production teams to run the sound and lights, and volunteers to help check tickets and check IDs and all of that, we can't do that without all of that infrastructure that has to go with it. The fact that we've been able to make all of this work and sell out a festival with a new format to Rochester in its first year is huge. So that part of it, it was an exciting day today when we were able to be like, okay, we did it. We sold out a festival. So that's kind of nuts.
So to have this sort of a regional musical festival that is similar to events that happen in other cities but that haven't really happened here in Rochester, I think is really incredible, because we're going to bring people together for music. It's going to have an impact on area businesses. It's going to be something that, you know, allows people to see Rochester in a different way, as a place that maybe has a music scene and it has a downtown destination that's for music and a thing that you should check out in Rochester. Super grateful to people like Nick Novotny, who's put the work in to make this happen, and also organizations like My Town, My Music, who are just making musical opportunities grow in Rochester. So kudos to them for making something happen in Rochester with live music.
I have to give props to Sam Brown, who started Midwest and started Big Turn. Thank you to everyone who bought tickets. We sold this thing out, which is insane. But if you missed out this year, we're not going anywhere. We'll be back, so keep an eye out. You'll probably see some stuff from us throughout the year, and then obviously My Town will keep ripping as we do. Outside of the festival situation, yeah, we're gonna have a big party tomorrow, and then gear up and get ready to do it again next year.
So good to